This is a Mini Cooper S. More specifically, this is the F56 Cooper S with the B48 engine. And what I want to highlight here is something that has bothered me and probably bothers quite a lot of owners with this car. And that is, it's inherited from BMW the active sound design, which, if you don't know what that is, it pumps in fake noise through the speakers, trying to emulate the engine. And it sounds unnatural, it sounds wobbly, and it sounds like a video game, which is really not what I'm after. So, as of right now, ASD is off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive about a bit with ASD off, and I'll code it back on, just so you have a sense of what it sounds like. Sounds natural without it. And as far as I was able to make out, there were 3 different ASD modes, or rather 3 different sounds for the ASD. For the green mode, there was one that sort of made it sound like a 5-cylinder diesel, which was really weird. So I'm not sure about that. Normal mode was more of a cut-back version of sport mode. It was still there, it was still noticeable. But it still bothered me quite a bit. And then once you go into sport mode, you get the full on thrum from the ASD. Alright, now to compare, I've turned the ASD back on using BimmerLink. On a side note, you can turn it on and off using either BimmerLink or BimmerCode. It works the same way. But this is ASD on now. You can hear the bit of a warble down here compared to when it's off. So let's start to compare it. that's a sport mode. I'm gonna switch it to normal. Where it's still active, but it's, like I said before, it's a milder version of what you get in sport mode. You can still kind of feel it underneath the seat, especially this car is equipped with the Harman Kardon sound system, so there is subwoofers underneath the front seats. So when the ASD is on, you do feel it underneath your legs and everything. It's very weird. Now I'm going to switch it to Eco. Like a faint whine now. And we head back to sport, and you'll hear the thrum again. Now, I know that there are people who like this. Yeah, there are reasons for liking it, but at the same time, this isn't a car where there's so much sound deadening where you're not hearing anything. With the ASD off, you do still get quite a bit of some classic hot hatch grumbling from the engine. So there's nothing really to amplify. Sounds terrible. I think that's the best way of putting it. But either way, after doing a bit more digging into BimmerCode myself, I saw that there's an expert mode where you can go in and you can configure what specific engine you would like to replicate in here, or maybe if there's a bit about power level, if you want to replicate a competition pack, shifting noises, things of that nature. And as much as I don't like ASD, maybe, I'm just thinking, just maybe, it would be fun to probably mess around with it for a little bit and see how we can replicate just different sounds. I mean, there's even an option for a B58, so I don't know, maybe we'll get some super noises in here. But thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you soon. As a bit of an extra take, this is BimmerLink, this is the ASD switch on BimmerLink, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be switching it on and off as we drive. I won't go past second, so it stays in the mid-range and you hear the difference as I switch it on and off. Right now it's off. Very stark difference between